You see, what is happening right now in Zimbabwe is something that many people are watching very closely because the situation is no longer just normal politics. It is slowly turning into a serious internal power struggle that could shape the future of the country in a big way. And if you really understand how things work inside ZANU PF, then you will know that when signs like this start showing, something deeper is going on behind the scenes. Now, stay with me very carefully because this is where the story becomes very interesting. There are growing conversations and strong political signals suggesting that not everyone inside the ruling party is moving in the same direction anymore. And one of the biggest talking points right now is how some members, especially within the youth structures, are beginning to show different loyalties. And this is raising serious questions about what could happen next. Before we go deeper, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel because I will be bringing you more real-time African political updates in a very simple and clear way that everybody can understand. Now, let's continue. The current president of Zimbabwe, Emmerson Mnangagwa, has been in power since 2017, and his rise to leadership came after a very important moment in the country's history, the 2017 Zimbabwean coup d'etat, which changed everything. At that time, many people saw it as a new beginning. But here is the part many people do not talk about enough. The same system that helped bring him into power is still very active in the background, and that includes strong influence from the military and powerful figures within the party. And this is where another key figure comes into the picture, Constantino Chiwenga. Now, this is not just any politician. This is a man who played a very important role during that 2017 transition. And because of that, many people believe he still carries strong influence, especially within military and party structures. So what we are seeing today is not something that started now. It has been building quietly over time. And right now, it is becoming more visible. There are ongoing discussions in Zimbabwe about possible changes that could affect how long a president stays in power. And this has created mixed reactions inside the country. Some people support it, some people are not comfortable with it. And when you have that kind of division, especially inside a ruling party, it starts to create tension. Now think about this carefully. When different groups inside one party begin to think differently about the future, it is no longer just a small disagreement. It becomes a question of direction, and direction leads to alignment. And alignment leads to power. So when people say that some youth members are beginning to show support toward another leader, what they're really talking about is a possible shift in alignment. And that is something that can change a lot of things. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe because this kind of content takes time to break down in a way that is simple and clear for everyone. Now let's move deeper into this. The youth structure inside ZANU PF Youth League has always been very important. These are the people who help to mobilize support, especially during election periods. They are active, they are visible, and they play a big role in shaping public energy around politics. So if there are even small signs that their position is changing, people will notice. And that is exactly what is happening now. There are signals, conversations, and political movements that suggest that not everyone is standing in the same place anymore. And in politics, perception is very powerful. Even the idea that support is shifting can create real effects. Now, let's talk about another important group, the Zimbabwe National Liberation War Veterans Association. These are people who have been very influential in the country's political history. They played a role in past changes, and their voice still carries weight today. Recently, there have been signs that not all of them are fully in support of certain political directions being discussed. And when you combine that with what is happening among youth structures, it begins to paint a bigger picture. A picture of a party that is managing internal pressure. And when internal pressure builds up, it usually means one thing. Decisions are coming, and those decisions can affect leadership, strategy, and future direction. Now, let's go back to the role of the military, because this is very important to understand. Zimbabwe's political system cannot be discussed without mentioning the influence of the armed forces. This is not about fear. It is about structure and history. The military has played roles in key moments in the past. And because of that, people always consider how it fits into the current situation. So when you hear people say that some groups may be acting carefully because of military influence, what they're really saying is that power in Zimbabwe is not only about public office. It also includes institutional strength. And that makes everything more sensitive. At this point, I want you to pause and think. If you have a situation where some youth members are showing different signals, some senior groups are raising concerns, and there is ongoing discussion about future leadership direction, what do you think that means? Drop your opinion in the comment section, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss any updates. Now let's continue. What we are seeing can be described as early signs of a succession conversation, not an official announcement, not a final decision, but a conversation. And in politics, those conversations usually start long before anything becomes public. People begin to position themselves, groups begin to align, support begins to move quietly. And before you know it, a new direction starts to form. That is why this moment is important, because it is not about what has already happened. It is about what could happen next. And many people are watching closely to see how things develop between key figures like Emerson Mnangagwa and Constantino Chiwenga. Now, let me make something very clear again so that we stay accurate and professional. There is no official confirmation that the entire youth league has taken a new position. What we are talking about here are political signals, discussions, and possible alignments. And that is how real political stories begin. They don't start with loud announcements. They start quietly, and then they grow. Now, as this situation continues to develop, one thing is certain. Zimbabwe is entering a very important phase in its political journey. A phase where decisions made today can shape the next chapter of leadership in the country. And when you look at everything together, you will understand why many people are paying attention. Because this is not just about one person. It is about the system, the structure, and the future. If you are enjoying this breakdown, please go ahead and like this video right now and subscribe to the channel, because more updates like this are coming. Now, I will pause here for a moment.